Am I live yet? I hope I'm not live yet. I wasn't planning to be live. I'm kidding. I was purposefully live this time. So like last week, was it last Monday show? I actually did begin running a stream without knowing it. So I'm sitting here for like 5 minutes, like still setting things up. And then I see like David Glenn in the chat. I'm like, oh my God, I'm live. And I'm like, thank goodness I didn't say anything bad. You know, sometimes you do that, right? You might like say some cuss words when you don't mean to. Luckily, I don't have like, you know, any really bad things to say. Or like, you know, you might just start taking off your pants. I mean, this happened to people during teleworking, right? Like, where like, they're like, all right, guys, I'm going to leave the Zoom meeting now. Catch you later. And then next thing you know, the guy forgets to turn off his camera, forgets to disconnect from the stream, and he's sitting there like fucking pulling out a jug of lotion. I think that was fake, actually. There was a video, it was like a X-rated website advertisement where people are having a teleconference. A guy is like, all right, I'm going to go. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, see you later, Bill. And then Bill starts coming back to the desk with a freaking bottle of lotion. And they're like, Bill, you're still on. It's like, someone call him on the phone. And then the girl is like, oh, hell no. You know, like girl in the group is like that, you know. And yeah, that was pretty nasty. Once again, I'm sure that was a commercial. But I'm also sure that happened for real. I mean, like, there was that guy from CNN, right? Wasn't there, like, a guy from CNN who had that happen? Let's see here. I'm just looking for a thumbnail image for, you know, for the next, for this stream, actually. So we're just going to pick, like, a random one right here. I will just use my generic thumbnail. Here we go. And then we get the chat on screen. And yeah, there we go. I think we're in good shape here. Wait, am I? Yeah, okay, good. Okay, everything's set up here. I still wish I knew how to get the stream elements to come up. In fact, let's see if we can fix stream elements right now. So my problem with stream elements was that elements only shows under live chat, right? So, you know, there's that button that says like top messages versus live chat. And so we want, you know, stream elements to work no matter what. You know, I want to be able to have it like what I type in. That's why I haven't used stream elements like for the chat bot, you know, because like it hasn't worked anyway. It's like not really like, you know, useful for me if I, you know, can't use it, you know? And maybe I'm using stream elements wrong. Like, so some people use overlays. I am not using any overlays at the moment. And I look at the way other content creators do their thing. And I think maybe I should try that. You know, maybe I should shrink myself into a smaller video window. Maybe I should crop this and put like the chat next to me, you know? And maybe someday I will. But late, you know, like right now, like I think there's a better alternative to what I've been doing, right? So, let's get the chat window up real quick. So, whoops, that's not it. Yeah, that one. So, basically, if someone leaves a message, we can see it right here, you know, and it's like, that's all fun and everything, but like, depending on what the background is, that can get very, very, you know, you know. So, I do have good news. We're working on, and by we, I mean I am working on an intro for the show and the Monday show. And what we have so far is my desk. No, I'm kidding. If we zoom in, you'll see I have these clips I exported, and I don't know if these clips are safe. But right now, if we look at my top monitor, I'm using the editing software. So the way this works is, when last night I was exporting clips, I would go to the main timeline, and I would use my steering wheel. It's not really a steering wheel, but you know this thing here, right? I would use that thingy here, so I would go. It's really cool. Like if I was sharing my desktop audio right now, you could hear the sound from this, and I guess I'll share. I've done it before. See, I can play it backwards, and you know, depending on the size of your monitor and how many little things you have on the screen in the editing software, it can get a bit cumbersome. So there's you know, different ways to use multiple monitors, and essentially you would have like one of these options here will spawn a a full screen video version. You know, basically it'll replicate what you see here on a separate monitor, and I always forget where I go for that. Like I have to change it right now, so we're gonna find this together. So you go through here and video clean feed monitor 2. So that's what we see on monitor 2. If we go to my top monitor, there's the clean feed. So that's like literally right above my main monitor in full screen mode. And maybe I want to switch that to my right side monitor, which could be a double-edged sword, but until I have more monitors, I don't really see another option unless I can put it into a pop-out window. And so there we go, because I want to be able to see the YouTube chat. So now when I look at my right side monitor, I can't see the OBS window anymore. I mean, I could probably adjust that. But I could see this. So as I'm rewinding, this right side monitor has a widescreen version of what's on the left. And the only thing I would do differently is I would press the buttons on my monitor and check the color mode, because sometimes, like, you know, it just doesn't look right. And I think the standard mode or the normal mode is fine. Sometimes I feel like it's a little dark, but I don't want to crank up the brightness, because if I do that, then I gotta, you know, like, go blind at nighttime, you know? Oh, I almost forgot. What's up, William? I gotta turn on my bottom monitor. Let's turn on the bottom monitor. So you can see here we got... Ooh, let me just make sure this doesn't flip over. I don't want people to see my messy room. So this bottom monitor, this is the one I was telling you about the other day. William, how you doing? So basically we turn it on like by hitting the button here. It's like a tablet, right? And then the windows will make the little USB sound, da-dunk, da-dunk, or whatever. And essentially it's mouse input. And so this is the weird issue I was encountering that I can actually demonstrate right now. How do I demonstrate this? So, okay, I can demonstrate this easily. So let's minimize the editing software. Let's close Parsec. Oh, I got to connect to my backyard computer in a minute because, you know, astrophotography. Okay, so here we go. And I think I already have an instance of Clip Studio running. Yep, I do. So if we go to my main monitor, we got my attempt at drawing a space satellite. Ooh. Anyway, we're going to open up a new graphic. So we're going to close out this graphic completely. And that actually means, oops, my pen was on the wrong, there we go. And then we're going to do the things. So, okay, we're going to close out the document. I guess we'll save it. We're going to make a new one. We're going to call it Stream Demo. And it should be noted, there's actually little silver markings on my monitor. So if you look at my monitor here, aside from the Ziploc bags full of Gundam models, you'll actually see I have a silver marking here and here. And I do that so that I can see where to line up the little the edges here, because I set up the tablet software in such a way that, you know, my tablet screen is 1920 by 1080. My widescreen monitor is 2560 by 1080. So I basically told the software to only make the pen work on the middle 1920 pixels, you know, so the middle, basically, so it's the same as a normal, you know, monitor, like my top monitor. That's 1920 by 1080 pixels. So how do we do that? Well, basically, you go to the start menu. Whoops. You go to the start menu, you type in Pen Tablet, because apparently the XP Pen software is called Pen Tablet. And you can see here, like, it's got, like, little red boxes. So what this is saying here for the screen is, when I use the mouse pointer or the pen is gonna be touching this screen, basically. So my mouse pointer will essentially always jump to the bottom screen, which is the one on my desk down here, whenever we, you know, whenever we interact with it. Okay, that makes sense. You know, cool. And you got other options. You can tell it to use all of the displays. Or, whoops, did I do that wrong? Might have done that wrong. I think I did that correctly. I think that was correct. Not really sure. Oh, wait. Let's assume that is correct for the minute, all right? Then down here where it says pen display, you just tell it to use the entire area of the tablet. I have no reason to not use the entire tablet screen. Okay, and then in Windows display settings, if we go, we right click on our desktop and we go to display settings, you get this window which opened up on my top monitor, and you click identify and it'll tell you which monitor is which. So basically these are my normal 3 monitors and the drawing tablet is the bottom. So now we got that all sorted out. You could tell the touch pen to work on all monitors. There we go. That's how I did it. I always forget. So you do this all monitors, or you can pick individual monitors. So now what happens if I pick the middle monitor? Well, number one, it's now going to let my tablet control something that's bigger than the tablet, and that gets a little janky. So we got to, this is where we customize the active area, where we tell it like, we want it to be 1920 by 1080. Oh wait, that's not where you do it. Whoops. Is it over here? Yeah, here it is. So see, it says 2560 by 1080. So we're going to make it 1920 by 1080. But now the red box is not in the center. Well, luckily I already did the math. 2560 minus 1920 is 640. So we know that we need this to be 320 pixels from the left margin. Boom. Now the red box is in the center. So anything I do on the bottom tablet with the pen is only going to control this little red box, which basically covers the canvas, because I basically position the window more or less in the middle. I'm sure maybe I could move it to the left a little bit, but, you know, I mean, at that point, now we're just splitting hairs. Basically, the main thing is I want the zoom to be 100%, which is not 100%. Right now it's 98%, so we're going to make it 100. There we go. And once you sort out all of these things, now I'm ready to draw. But let's go back here. Remember, the red box to the red box is like this. So watch this part here, what happens when I actually draw. So we're going to go back into full mode. We're going to take the pen. Oh, but there's another missing element here now. What's missing? I'll give you a hint. It's the fact that, how does this... Okay, well, there we go. Now it's behaving like a regular drawing tablet, right? It's like, okay. It's like, basically what's happening is I move the pen down here, but the mouse pointer is moved on my main monitor, and it'll update in near real time. So, okay, that's cool. But I want to see the picture down here. How the hell do I get the canvas down here, you might ask? Well, I got to go to Window, Canvas, and a new window. And when you do that, it's going to give you a duplicate canvas. Okay, so how does this help me? Well, what you do is you got to drag it from your top monitor down to your bottom monitor. See? The drawing tablet. And once I do that, I can make it full screen if I want, or I can, you know, maximize it, or I can confuse myself. You know, I can do any number of things. So we're going to just do that. And so now, when I draw... Whoops, it's not the right color. There we go. So now when I draw, okay, it's updating in near real time, but there's nothing on the screen. So what gives? Well, the answer goes back to this right here. So essentially, to change how that behaves, I need to tell it to move the red box to my drawing tablet. And once I do that, now watch what happens. It might be a little dim, so I'm going to pick a different color and a different type of ink, and maybe like keep the thing big. Okay, so you can see that right there. See how I'm drawing a line? It's updating in effectively what I would consider real time, but nothing's happening on my top monitor. But the minute I lift the pen... So essentially, as I understand it, that's just how this works. And if anybody who actually knows knows more about this can give me any pointers, that would be great. But I did find a workaround. My workaround is to go to OBS and find the scene where my drawing tablet is, which is the bottom tab. And then I have to right click on the thing that represents my drawing tablet, which is actually a monitor. I'm sharing a monitor. And I right click on it and I go and I say window to projector source, like that. And now we have a floaty window. And so what that means is that now I can see what's in that scene or in that source in an independent window. So we could drag that to my left monitor. Okay. And we could, I guess hypothetically, we could just float this on top of the Clip Studio window like this. And obviously, I can't interface with it. So one thing I would do is, I'm surprised it's not cropping the left side out because I don't really need to see the color panel right now. So I can go back to OBS and, oh, I see what it did. Okay, I can fix that. So if I go back to OBS, what I would do is I would actually have to go and tell it to share the entire scene. Windowed projector scene. There we go. Now it doesn't have the color palette on the left. Now we can drag this to my left monitor again. You could see part of the color palette from the bottom monitor, but it's cropped. So now, and I'll say hi to the chat in a moment. I apologize. I can't see the chat at the very moment. But when you do this, the friggin' Clip Studio window goes on top of it. So my workaround is, if in the event I ever want to be able to see real-time updates, is take the Clip Studio window and shrink it like that. Take the OBS preview window and just put it right here. Put it anywhere I want. It doesn't really matter where I put it actually, right? And now when I start drawing, I get real-time updates on both displays. Now, if I'm only looking at the bottom display and I don't care about getting real-time updates on the top display, I can still share the bottom display on a live stream. So, you know, that's like literally my bottom monitor, you know? Like, I dropped my pen. And I could see the chat. Thanks for chatting. Seemed like there should be a note forward to do this. A note or a forward. Yeah, yes, there should be, right? But there isn't. Or I didn't read the effing manual. Oh, I read the manual, just didn't really have the words I was looking for. Like, I think they do explain it in some way. I mean, you could even argue the software is pretty self-explanatory, but like, I really didn't know what any of this was doing until I played with it, right? And that's how a lot of this stuff works, you know? I mean, I think it's just, you gotta play with it. You gotta be willing to, like, you know, break it or whatever. So I don't know, that's what I did, and that seemed to work out for me. And that is, yeah, that's how I'm dealing with the drawing tablet now. So I don't usually use the OBS preview window, but if I'm not streaming and I want to see, you know, things like this, I would still have to open OBS. So I installed a standalone copy of OBS, which almost broke my Stream Elements config. But I installed a separate standalone copy that I could run out of a directory, or, you know, that I took out of a zip file, so I didn't actually install it. And that's so that I don't accidentally start streaming, you know? Like, I put the lens cap on my webcam in case I'm naked or some shit. You know, I don't want to be DSP'd. Okay? Speaking of DSP, let me see if I can find a video that Vaush did. Well, he didn't do a video. He got embarrassed on stream, actually. Yeah, so Vaush was like, you know, like, on a stream, and he went to save some, like, picture, like, you know, he's like, oh, let's save this picture. And in the process of saving a picture, he was like, he accidentally opened up a folder of prawn, and he like did the soy boy face where they go, oh, and I thought it was funny. So we're gonna go and get a couple of things on screen real quick. So let's see here, soy boy face, soy jack. There we go. That's it's like Wojak, but soy. There we. Oh, I found a perfect picture. Okay, good. I've been meaning to find this forever. Okay, good. I got a picture to go with it. Okay, that's important. Now I'm gonna go and get the video that I want to get. So I think it's in my YouTube video downloader. And let's see here. Does it have a label? I don't think it has a label. I think. Oh no, wait. It was a screen recording, which means I have to go. I should have saved it off of Twitter using the video downloader helper. I don't know why I didn't do that. That would have been better. But in this case, I actually have to go into my OBS folder. I hope to God I named the file after the guy. Something tells me I didn't. Damn it. Now I gotta find out what the date was when the guy did the video. Vaush video date. Like, when was the date of the time he had the, you know, porn on his screen? Okay, so here we are. 2 weeks ago, maybe. Oh, they got the video on Twitter. I could be on Facebook.
Oh,
good. I'll re-download it off Reddit right now.
You can see this is an example of the kind of structure.
And I'm going to make sure, like, I don't leave my save folder open while I'm doing it, just in case somebody planted something wrong in my download folder. No, I'm kidding. But I use this video downloader helper sometimes up here, right? And I just click the button, and it has different modes. It says quick download, and it also has something called side download. And I'm like, I don't really care if it's a side download. You know? Oh yeah, sometimes it won't download the video in Chrome and I have to use Firefox. So in this case, it's telling me to update the companion app. Ugh. It was going fine until it told me to update the stupid app. So we're going to reinstall video downloader help. Let's see how the chat's doing right here. We still only have one person tuning in. I'm disappointed in you people. What do I pay you people for? No, I'm kidding. I don't pay. Why would you pay people to watch your show? That would be weird. Okay, so I think it'll work now. Let's try it out again. So top monitor. I'm going to go and click the things for the video downloader helper. It's going to open up another tab and it's going to say, good, I found, okay, good. I got the file name right here. Yeah. No, wait, we don't need to create a new folder. All right, there we go. We got this. We got it. It's like that video where they catch Osama bin Laden. They go, we got him. And then they play that loud music with the busted audio. All right. You ready for this? This is a real treat right here. Like, I don't know if this is going to get me nixed, but I don't see why it should. Because, I mean, you know, it's not like... I mean, it's other people's content. Yeah, it was taken down, but... I mean, the internet's forever, as they say. Although, that's not always true. I hope I'm not going to get in trouble for this. Yeah, so this guy's like, you know, like, he's clearly looking at, like, some nice suit, and he's like, oh, I got to get a picture of this. All right. I hope this doesn't, like, ruin me. You know, it's about journalistic integrity here. Should I zoom in on it? I'm going to keep it zoomed out.
You can see this is an example of the kind of structure that I'm referring to. What?
All right, maybe I could blur the picture or something. I'll put a notepad up on screen. And it's not because I want to be censorious. It's because, you know, I care about you. Okay, good. So we're going to cover that up just like that, right? See, look at me. See, I'm such a good person. Keeping your eyeballs from getting subjected to... And we're going to put letters censored. Oh, thank God. I just hit the save button. I nearly had a heart attack. I was like, I hope to God I don't do the same thing. Like, I was expecting it to be like random porn folder number 82. It's like, save. Boop. But I do have some personal stuff here, but it's not terribly personal. It's things like shortcuts. Why do I have musical albums on my desktop? I should probably put them in the music library. Macross ship names. Okay, anyway. Getting back on topic. I'm going to just... Oh yeah, I gotta make a loop. Give me a second. I want to make a loop. I'm gonna make a funny loop. What? All right. What? Ah, damn it! The loop ended too soon. This is an example of the. What?
You can see this is. What?
What?
What? You can see this is an example of the...
It's so... Okay, I guess I gotta put it on repeat mode or some crap. Oh, try that again. All right.
You can see this is referring to...
So, oh my God, if I have to go into like freaking, you know, what do you call it? Nobody does lives from a VM, but that being said, that is actually a better solution. Some people, like, I remember my brother was like, his wife was like, told him that he should do his separate, like, not my brother, but I knew someone who had 2 jobs, and they were told, oh, you should do your streams on a separate computer. And it's like, I was like, what do you mean? Like, a computer could do multiple things. And it's like, the logic was, I guess if you're at a meeting and you plug into a projector, you don't accidentally show the login screen or the files from your other job or some crap like that. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't really compute in my head, but okay, if you want to have 2 computers for 2 jobs, sure, okay, that seems like a little simplistic. But, you know, running a VM would be like one other way to sort of go about doing that, I guess, too, you know, like run the VM on a laptop, you know, and then, but that would, I think, be overkill. I'd say maybe do a dual boot with like an indefinite countdown or something. I don't know, you know, something, you know, like, but as for me, I mean, I don't really think I'd be ever interested in doing live streams from a VM. Although what would be interesting is maybe like do the live stream from a VM, I mean, from a regular machine, but use a VM for all of this screen sharing activity. So like maybe like monitor number 4 is all screen sharing from a VM, and like make it so that OBS doesn't share any of the display or something like that, you know? And I do go to a checklist before streams now, where I make sure OBS is sharing the correct monitor, because the problem I would have is after reboots, it would change the order of monitors. So I'd press monitor number 2 and it would show monitor number 1. And that hasn't been a problem, but hypothetically, you might be stupid and have like, you know, bad stuff on one monitor, but not the other. I mean, really, the checklist is basically make sure there's nothing dumb on the computer before starting a stream. That's really what the checklist says, and check the monitor assignments. So, interesting idea. I don't think I would do it from a VM. Where a VM comes handy, though, is if you want to record like a meeting and the software is reporting that you're recording the meeting, you can, you know, basically just, you know, not finagle, but set it up so that it doesn't, you know, like, it doesn't know you're recording it because you're recording the VM from outside the VM, so to speak. So anyway, let's get this funny video on screen here. Now this guy should run a stream on a VM, considering what he did by accident. That's an interesting idea. Okay, only share from a VM. That makes sense, yeah. It's probably, nobody does that. Or maybe some people do that. Nobody I know does that. I could say that. I'm not saying nobody does that, because I'd imagine somebody smart or logical must be doing that. Seems like a bit more clock cycles than I'd want to spend on my i9. But, like, I do think things through. I go like, well, maybe, like, you know, I should limit what I do on my streaming PC. Like, you know, what you do on a streaming PC should not be what you do on your phone. I don't know. Anyway, okay, this is getting really weird. Okay, so we're gonna get the I need to get this loop. I'm sorry. Let me just put this in full screen. So it's a little janky when you do this, right? You know, like you gotta time it right. So we're gonna hit A.
Me too.
What?
I don't think it's possible to do this video like this. I'm going to do it through DaVinci. Okay, we're going to do this through DaVinci. Speaking of DaVinci, so, yeah, I was making Knights of Sidonia clips. And it's good to see a Pop Culture Mechanic. And I got to do the same thing with Macross, right? So I made a bunch of Sidonia no Kishi clips, or Knights of Sidonia. And they're all here in this folder. So if I... let me see if we got like a nice 17-second clip that. Oh, let me make sure I get the YouTube stuff on screen. Whoops.
Yes, the Ghana has rebuilt its ENA. Also, I believe that it.
Let me just get my YouTube control panel on stream, because I need to see if I get in any hot water while doing what I'm doing. All right, there we go. We'll start with something simple. All right, that's a whole minute. This is a Higgs sail. It's like an energy collector, and so he's like cranking it out right there.
This is making me pretty hungry.
Oh, I got some jiggle physics here. I'll get you guys. Let's do the jiggle physics right after we zoom out. All right, yeah, we're not gonna play the whole clip because I don't want to take any risk, but. I got some jiggle physics. I just gotta find it right. All right, maybe I put it in this other folder. But yeah, because like this show has all kinds of. In fact, there's a clip at the end of the episode too. Kobayashi, water, Higgs particle, Kobayashi, sites of Sidonia, water pump, opossums reference, opossums, Earth history, Garner history. That's when the bad guys basically showed up. Sidonia opening, and Ms. Humura. So that's weird. I don't have it there. All right. Well, let's just go and find it. We're gonna find it. Yeah. So if we go back to actually the end of the episode. So it's like they have this thing they do where the planes or the mechs, they combine their Delta V in order to conduct a long journey. So it's like you have the mechs in a ring, clasping it together, docking it essentially. Hopefully you guys can see this. And so you see that big ring right there. And there's a bunch of mechs in that formation right there.
It looks like a 256 clasp formation.
And so she believes it's a 256 clasp formation. Means they're clasping their hands together.
We're getting a message from the rest.
To take
Pilot.
bitch.
Oh yeah, jiggle physics. Got it. Okay, we're gonna export that clip later. Actually, we'll export it right now. So it's gonna be flight boss jiggle. We'll call it boss jiggle. Because she's like the boss. Right, so there we go. We are gonna export that one immediately, and you can do that simply by adding it to the queue. And then DaVinci Resolve will literally export it immediately. And then we're gonna go here. I'm gonna play that in an A/B loop, I guess. As soon as I did I lose it? Oh, here it is.
Unit 007, keep the.
All right. So now we go here. We go here. We go here, and then I have to.
Unit 0. Unit 0. Unit 007, keep the chatter down.
Understood. And he does it at the end too. All right. I thought I exported one of these yesterday, but we're gonna do again. I'm gonna do it again because I wanted to do this yesterday, and I thought I did it. It's probably in a different folder or something, but we're just gonna deal with this right now. Now, actually, this is actually an interesting case study when it comes to computer animated graphics, because I don't know if this is what you call cell shading, but to my untrained eye, I would say this is like cell shading. Correct me if I'm wrong, you know, but like that's what I gather, and so. Is there a way to undo? Let me see here. I wish because I thought I had the jiggle physics already covered. I'm about to do it in a different timeline because I thought I had it already, man. What up there, Disney sheep herder? It's good to see you. I hope you're having a good evening. New timeline. Yeah, so you can do new timeline. Boss Jiggle, I'm gonna call it. She's like the air boss of the whole entire, you know, squadron. So now we took that clip and we already copied it, so we're gonna paste it in, right? So I'm gonna go to the end of the episode because we know it's the end. So we just press the up or down arrow key to go to the end, and then we can use the thingy here, which I don't know if you can see the thingy right there, but I sure can't see it. But let me see here if I can see it if I do this. Oh yeah, that's yeah, I literally can't even preview my OBS window right now. Let me see here. I'm gonna just open up a preview window here. And we're gonna then, how do I do this here? No, I think it's basically it. Okay, good. Okay, good. I just wanted to be able to see what it looks like on the, you know, in the preview window. So now I can see it. Okay, so we can, you know, I use like this DaVinci thing in conjunction with a regular keyboard. So there's like buttons on here, like basically it says like scroll and jog. Jog is like small incremental movements, whereas scroll is like much more rapid. Like you turn it on a dime and it's moving like crazy. Actually, we press Q to delete the right side of the marker. And in this case, I'm actually going to just put a letter S here. Actually, no, we're going to put it in the next frame. And then these I'm just going to temporarily move out of the way. Now, I'm not an expert, but essentially what you can do is press the letter I and letter O on your keyboard, or there's an in-out key on here. And that just makes it so that the software will only export in that range in the event that you don't want to trim something, but you want to export it in a trimmed manner. You can sort of do that. But in this case, I do actually have to cut it up because I'm going to do something a little different here. We want a jiggle physics loop, right?
Unit 007, keep the chatter down.
Oh yeah, and it's in English and Japanese right now. So, you know, vote if you want English or Japanese language in the audio. Whoops. All right. So we'll make this our in-out point.
Unit 007, keep the chatter down.
Since nobody here knows how to speak Japanese, I could just play it like a DJ. But no, all jokes aside, I do find it fascinating because, like, you could actually see, like, so on Knights of Sidonia, the space suits are actually, like, from hand-me-downs, right? And so you'll often see patches on them. It'll look like they don't get replaced, they get repaired, which I feel like they could just recycle the entire suit, but whatever. Like, you know, that's how they do it. You know, that's how the manga writer envisioned it. Okay. And so it looks like there's scratches on the outside of the suit. It looks a bit like tattered, and so it gives it a little bit more character. But also when you get the jiggle physics, you actually see, like, based on where the scratches on the suit are, you actually see, like, you know, where the 3D model is. Because even though this is like a flat animation, it's really a 3D model. It's you know, just the shading of the color, as I called it, cell shading. Whether that's correct or not, you can clearly see that's a completely 3D thing. Like, this is not a conventional animating artist. This is not a conventional animator making the illusion of 3D. This is 3D from what I can figure, you know, and this might be one of the reasons why people didn't like the animation style on this show. But, you know, I mean, I get why people like, oh, I only want to watch anime that's cartoony and not, you know, CGI. But it's like, You want to pay an extra $200 for everything so that the animators get paid? Because the computers make it easier. It's like more efficient, you know? And maybe in time they'll do a better job of giving it that proper old-timey look, you know? But anyway, let's get this down right. So we're gonna okay, good. So we don't want any abrupt motions in the frame, but we want to capture the motion, that right there. But do we want to get both jiggles or just one jiggle, you know? Oh my god. That's weird. So this is a weird thing I recently discovered. So when I started using the in-out button in DaVinci Resolve, I discovered this BS where, like, once you start using the in-out button in DaVinci and you go to do copy and paste, it like wants to paste on top of this part of the timeline. I'm like, why? So I think the solution is to move this part forward, and then there we go. Okay, so I don't know why it does that, but whatever. It's probably a feature, you know, no big deal. Just something I observed. Let's keep going here.
Down. Zero zero seven.
Oh, here we are. Okay, there's our loop. And we'd probably do that without the audio, but for now we do it like this. So normally that's what I'm accustomed to happening, is that when I move the marker around, it's going to paste wherever the red line is. So that was not very fluid, right? So we're not going to stick with that loop. Well, I don't think that loop is really going to be worth our time. So instead, we're going to go and we're just going to set that one aside.
Keep the chatter down.
Understood.
And this one has really nothing of comedic interest, so we're going to leave that one out too. Then now the question is, do we keep these together or separate? Okay, so let's try that out. So now we're gonna just take that, copy pasta it a couple of times over. Now, one thing is, like, when you make an animated GIF, that's like a guaranteed automatic loop. But when you do a video, that they don't always loop. So it's like one method that I've been doing is like just duplicating it on the timeline. And I mean, it feels wasteful, but I think depending on the video encoding you're using, it may not be a real issue. Oh, and I gotta show you guys the Pocket PC video that I got working.
Unit 00, unit 00, unit 00, unit 0.
I think the Japanese works better for this because nobody would understand that she's saying 007. Or we could do no audio at all.
Unit 00.
So, what do you guys think? Is that okay? Should we do anything different to it? You know, I know we got some experts on waifus here. We got people who are part of the Wipstotska armed forces. So let me know what you think here. If this is, you know, acceptable, or if we should like do more things to make it better, or if we should shorten it or lengthen it or something. But I think so. Remember, this loop is comprised of just these two clips. Is there really just one clip that I spliced in case? So alternatively, what we could do is we could take either clip 1 or 2 and duplicate that one in the timeline like this. That works, right? Nice sternum. Oh yeah, that's what they call that. Now, Knights of Sidonia is a very interesting, like, I don't know if you call it a space opera or a sci-fi, I guess. I like it. I know a lot of people don't, but it's interesting, but one of the things was that they had like a point where the city ship got attacked, and it is a city ship. It is a beautiful ship too. So we're gonna leave the jiggle physics for a minute. I'm gonna show you guys some of Sidonia, because I think it is a beautiful ship. I really do. I like it a lot. I think it's like it's a cool concept. And so if I go through the timeline here, I should be able to find a scene. There it is. See, it's like the pilots are in school. That lady's in a bear suit. There's a hell of a reason. There's a funny backstory about the lady in the bear suit and the bionic hand. Like, there's actually a perfectly good explanation for this, okay? I assure you. I'm not gonna ruin it. In this scene, they're talking about how there were 500 seed ships like Sidonia that were sent out.
Know the answer?
And the last ship they had contact with was 300 years earlier. There we go. So in the middle of every episode, they'll show like these manga art pieces that are called Sights of Sidonia. And so it's like literally just like, you know, like balconies and some rustic staircases and things like that in the middle of the city ship. This ship is like a 900-year-old ship or something insane like that. It's a very old ship with people living on it. And inside Sidonia, they showed this better in the manga, but here's the ship from the outside. It looks like the top portion of a 9mm Glock. Like, I'm not an expert, but it has that Glock shape, but they have a resource asteroid attached, so they can mine things from the asteroid. Also, in the manga, they explain that Sidonia is covered in ice. Like, there's an ice wall along the outside that I guess they use for water or something, or maybe shielding radiation from hard radiation. And then inside Sidonia, you have, like, houses and things lining the balconies, lining the outer wall or the inner wall, and connections between the inner wall and the residential tower. And in the middle, running from the bottom of the middle to the top, is the residential tower. And so it's literally like they have like flat floors every so many meters, but mostly it's a lot of stacked buildings, a lot of stacked apartments that are not ground level. A lot of interior corridors, and I don't know, it's something I like. I like the world building, at least on the small world building that went into Sidonia itself. You know, you see some scaffolding here. You know, it's like there's a story there, and there's some bullshit that people don't like about the manga and stuff. But I don't know, I had fun with it.
Yes, roughly 500 ships.
It was the Aposeams.
That was the last ship they spoke to.
Don't call me by my first name. It's especially irritating being called that by you now.
Don't be so dramatic. 100.
There's also Ochi.
To have destroyed Aganis. To have destroyed. To have destroyed history. To have destroyed team in human. The very first strike team in human history. To have destroyed Aganis 600 years ago.
It was after Sidonia launched. In order to investigate more closely, the strike team ventured inside the structure.
Although there are about it.
I should be around with
The old and could have on hand.
Wait a time.
So they're stranded in the mech right there. That's why they're eating like rations and stuff. So in this scene,
Is it really a seed ship?
she's questioning if the evil aliens are really out to get them.
Or could it be a nest? We haven't figured out any.
By the way, how is the audio? Okay, the audio is at max. Let me know if it's too loud, guys. So this is going to be a little backstory about the Garner, which are like the chief antagonist of this series.
Anything new since we first came into contact. I mean, we've never successfully communicated with them.
I just like looking at the ship. Now, I don't think that's a seed ship. I think that's like a generic exploration ship or something, because it doesn't look like Sidonia. The exterior is more metallic than it is, you know, anything else.
But the first Ghana that fell to Earth were shaped like people.
So basically 200 years after they made first contact with the Ghana, 200 years later, the first Ghana that fell to Earth was shaped like a person. So the girl speculated that maybe they're not trying to kill us. Maybe they just don't know. They're so different that they don't know how to communicate with us.
It was around 200 years after first contact, but it was the first time that it happened. Actually, I think it's possible that the Ghana really want to be friends with humanity.
See? She thinks they want to be friends. But they don't know how to communicate. Oh yeah, so about the boobs thing. So okay, 100 years, 100 years earlier, Sidonia got attacked by 2 Ghana, those aliens, and they lost like 98% of their population. Like, it was bad, right? And so now they were like, okay, we got to rebuild, but we can't feed the people we have at the moment. So they do some science and they go, okay, we're going to genetically modify future embryos, or even people now, but definitely future embryos, so that they don't have to eat more than once a week. And instead of eating, they're going to photosynthesize. So like the girls and the guys, they have photosynthesizing rooms, almost like locker rooms where they lay down naked under LEDs or grow lights or fluorescent light bulbs or something. And so, you know, there's an episode where Tanakazi, the main character, one of the main characters, has to test out something, and he's walking around the building. He walks into the girl's sauna by accident, and they fucking, girl really drop kicked him because they thought he was peeping in on her. But anyway, the point I'm getting at is, so everyone on Sidonia, basically almost everyone, is genetically enhanced to not need food more than once a week because they can photosynthesize. But I also noticed that every girl has really big boobs in spacesuits. So I bet you somebody made a decision at some point to, like, you know, like selectively modify the genes for bigger boobs or something. I don't know. I could be wrong. They don't all have enormous. In fact, that's why I'm going to start making a list. When I watch this show, I'm going to try to, like, count, like, if I get maybe a ratio between, like, normal and oversized boobs. And I mean, there's no judgment on anybody. I just want to know, like, if I can make like a case that Sidonia, if the people in charge made this as if they actively made this decision, or if this is just like a coincidence, you know, like autistic. I'm okay with that decision. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna get all up in arms, pop culture mechanic, and you know, yeah, I'm not gonna get all up in arms like, oh my god. This is inappropriate. So anyway, like, let's see what we got here. So yeah, I just wanted to, because, like, you know, you can't, like, ignore it. I can't ignore that 3-dimensionality, you know what I mean?
If we could find a way just to talk with them. Just to talk with them.
But she's saying some important stuff.
If only we could find a way just to talk with them.
So then they have trouble with the water supply. So apparently the ship has like some survival equipment. They can get power from that collector net, or that collecting sail.
Not coming out.
And they have a dispenser in the back. But they're like, oh my god, the water's out. So they go on an EVA walk, and he's like, uh-oh, there's a hole in the tank. So then he's like starving. And she sees that his suit is literally saying, you're dehydrated, buddy.
Oh no.
So I don't know how this works exactly, but I think she's able to, like, hit a button in her suit to tell the suit to extract moisture from her body. I think it, like, filters her urine or something, maybe. So now she's got, like, her reserve water tank is good.
Open your mouth.
So she pulls out a straw, and he's, like, half conscious, so he goes, like...
That's right. Drink it.
Like, that's a hell of a reflex right there. Like, he's like...
Wait, Tanikaze.
Like, he's death gripping her wrist. He's like, I'm gonna... Thanks for the water, girl.
Calm down. Not so fast.
And you can actually see the meter going down.
Oh, there's water in the guard's lubricants, right?
So now he's gonna extract water from the lubricant.
I've actually filtering water from lubricants before.
And that's the pump that filters the water, apparently, like, going crazy. It's not really designed for this.
Danny, cousin!
I better switch monitors to avoid claims.
Just work.
And then they got water. So anyway, that's like off topic. I just wanted to share that. I don't know why, but there we go. More sternum. Where? I don't see. Oh yeah, there's more sternum there.
All right.
So anyway, now let's see how these movies on the Pocket PC device are going. I gotta do my. I'm gonna edit this more later, make more clips. But did I even show you guys the clips I have? No, I didn't because I was so fixated on showing the jiggle physics, which, like I said, I'll work on that later. Oh yeah, I wanted to make a loop of the Vouch clip. I'm sorry, I need to do that really badly. I mean, I don't really need to do that, but we're gonna do this. So we go here. We're gonna say new project. Vouch clip. Prawn. Okay, and then I gotta go to my download helper, which is gonna be video download helper. Where did I put video download helper? DW, here it is. Okay, so now we drag and drop it into the app. We go to the main monitor. Yeah, we might as well match the frame rate. Jump to that segment in the timeline. Zoom in on it. You know, we want this thing all the way to the left. There we go. And now we're going to have some fun here.
You can see this is an example of the kind of structure that I'm
See, now it's like way more precise to tune this.
referring to.
Oh no, I think the audio is out of sync.
What?
Oh no, just the video ends that abruptly. Okay. Oh my god, I'm showing this disgusting stuff on the screen. I'm sorry, guys.
What?
I'm trying to make a loop, right?
What? What? What?
Okay.
What?
Okay, we're getting there.
What? 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 What?
Okay. I'm so stupid, man. All right. Now I need to get that picture. Right? We got the picture. Can I do that? Can I drag? Oh, I could. Did it let me do that just now? No, it did not. Okay. Now I need to save a picture, but I need to save it carefully. Okay. Okay. Anyways. And soy jack. Whoa. Okay, there we go. All right, let's see how the YouTube chat is doing. Hey, what up, David, Glenn? Remind me when the next other person's show comes on, so I don't like accidentally go into their block. You know, mainly, you know, the big names that we're friends with. You know, those guys. You know, the Snow Dubs and you know anyone along those lines. If I'm, you know, I don't want to disrupt their shows. Well, I don't want to, you know, unless you guys like me more. Then that's cool. You know, but jokes aside.
What?
Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna go and take the picture of Soy Jack. So it's gonna be fun. We should probably crop it a little bit. Let's see here. How much do we need to crop it? Okay. So oh, actually good. I can use this to censor the picture in the middle of the screen so people don't see the porn. Okay, that's good. Oh, I got an idea. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna do some creative editing, alright? This is why I have the OBS window on the video. I mean the window on my separate. Oh yeah, his laptop. I'm surprised. Yeah, I got. You know, I don't like to give solicited advice, but you know, and I also like that people don't randomly hit me up for advice when you know I'm busy. But it's like I can't imagine anything going wrong with a computer that renders it unusable, right? But unless it's truly catastrophic. But like I also know that like if you go and you have like a community of people on YouTube and you go and mention a computer problem, like next thing you know, people come out of the woodwork and everyone's got a suggestion how to fix it. And you know, heaven forbid they get on the same page about what that solution is. You know, so it's like next thing you know, it's like everyone and their mom. Same thing with health things. Like, you know, you get like a health problem and everyone and their mom comes out of the woodwork. They're like, oh yeah, this internet doctor says you should like mainline some olive oil. It's like, I don't know about mainlining olive oil, but okay, you have fun with that. I'm trying to figure out if this clip is actually... Okay, good. I think everything's lined up. Because what I want to do is I want to take this one here. Whoops. I always forget to do this correctly. We got to do it like... Whoops. Okay, so we actually want to delete these two. We want to take... Uh-oh, did my thing freeze just now? Okay, there we go. Because I gotta cover up the porn window. Like, I can't have that on screen, right? So...
What?
It's so stupid. Oh man, I amuse myself sometimes. And yes, I know I can use keyframes or something fancy to like make this more fun, but we're gonna do it like this because this works, right? So anyway, let's one more clip now. We'll put it on the far right to be safe. Then we got to bring it up a bit. Then this one's gonna go horizontally on the you know, on the x-axis. Whoops. Oh, and I could do some really fancy visual art stuff here. I got an idea here, but one thing at a time. So let me just get the whoops. Mixing up my axes here. Alright. So now
What?
okay, good. We're getting there. Now we copy all of it, right? Entire timeline. Then we spring to the end of the timeline. Then we're gonna we're gonna go like that. I need my window again. Oh god, where's my copyright error? I need to make sure I'm keeping an eye on the YouTube dashboard. I lost it. I lost the YouTube dashboard. Oh well, we don't need it. Did I close it? No, I didn't. Okay, here it is. Okay, now we're gonna go here. And we're gonna just zoom out a lot, copy everything, paste it multiple times, zoom out more, go home. That's a little disruptive, ain't it? We're gonna come up with a better idea for this. I think I have an idea. So remember I mentioned keyframes? So we're going to do it on the second set of pictures. So this is how keyframes work in DaVinci Resolve. So if we zoom out, you'll see I have on the right side of my screen, it says, whoops, we're going to go actually zoom into the right side of my screen. Oh, come on, really? Okay, there it is. I have a weird issue with my Stream Deck. If I start in the middle and I say go to the right, oh, there we go. Now it wants to work. Okay, good. So anyway, the way keyframes is working is we want to move this thing. We want it to bounce a little bit, kind of. So we click on this little diamond icon, and that's the first keyframe. Then we advance to the timeline, maybe like in an increment, and we hit the diamond button again. And now what's going to happen is when I... And which one of these am I highlighting? Oh my goodness, I wasn't even highlighting one. All right, so we need to go back again. Okay, so we have to highlight. I don't know if you could do it to all of them, or actually you could do... Okay, so we'll do the bottom one first. First diamond. Whoops, what the hell did I just do? There we go. Second diamond, that's 2 keyframes basically from the 2 points on the timeline. Now, we're going to tell it in this keyframe, we want it to like maybe go up a little bit. Then we're going to go and make another keyframe, and it's going to be right there, but this time we're going to tell it to go down a little bit and maybe back in a little bit. And then the next keyframe we're going to tell it to do is... I don't even know. We'll make it go a little lower and a little bit bigger. And it's not really a conducive for a loop, right? But I'll show you what happens when I do what I just did now. Oh, that actually kind of works. That kind of works. That kind of works. Okay, I think we can do something with this. We can make something out of this, all right? So now we'll take that clip, copy it, right? And we'll paste it maybe over here, and then we'll put it on top here, and we're gonna change it a little bit, right? Sort of like what we just did a minute ago, except oh wait, actually that's gonna be a little awkward there, isn't it? I shouldn't have deleted those other ones. I think we're just gonna... I don't want to have to repeat that on all 3 of these, but I really have no choice. So we're going to just do it. So same thing there. We're going to do keyframe 1 and maybe just make it bounce up a little bit. Keyframe number 2. We'll make it bounce up a little bit more with a little, you know, zoom maybe. Then we're going to do next keyframe. We could put it at the end in this case, I think. So now, if we replicate those... Okay. Well, this guy, if I wasn't censoring out the video, the thumbnail images in this guy's folders, you wouldn't be seeing so many sternums, you'd be seeing a bunch of bottoms. We want... Okay. Got a ride on my hands here, so I'm done editing this, alright? So then I'll go back, alright? You know, what interests me about that whole thing is, like... Why I'm amused is because I feel like we could take this clip and put some emphasis on the whoa part, right? So we're going to take the part where he goes... and we're gonna retime that. So we're gonna do change retime controls. Then we go over here and we zoom in on it like this, and we go change speed to like something slow. Then we can go back here and take the 3, you know, soy jack pictures. Where's my phone? Oh, here it is. And then we can even use the retime controls to go even slower. So how do I do that? We do, again, retime control. I lost it. Oh wait, that's the audio track. Whoops. I'm gonna bring that to like 10% and oh, I got a phone call. Shit, it's so. We want more sternum, I believe, was the rally cry, the chant in the chat. And I can understand. It's like, who wants to look at, like, you know, some guy on, you know, YouTube who's like, you know, who wants to watch a communist, right? Like, I get it. I don't want to watch a communist any more than you guys do. So we can't hear the phone call. Who is it? What's up, Timberghini Tube? That's funny, man. You funny. I would do the same thing though if I was watching someone's show. I'd be like, so what was the call about? So I'm done with this here. But what do you guys think? Okay, we're gonna well, everyone's allowed to have one flaw, Timberghini Tube. I'm sure I have plenty of my own flaws too, so, you know, I'm not trying to single you out. But the truth is, communism is cool if, like, you know, you do it in your own little commune and stuff, you know. I respect, like, those communes. I don't like it when, like, people think the state has to sponsor it, you know, and the state has to, like, enforce it, right? Because, like, it doesn't work if you let everyone volunteer. You know, you got to force people to pay the taxes to make this work. And so that's like my problem with many communism things.
Keep the chatter.
That's my main problem with communism on the whole. Because then nobody's got time to worry about their sternums if they're, you know, not. I identify as a Russian bot. I lived on an anarchist commune for 9 months. See, that sounds more reasonable depending on the type of anarchist we are referring to.
Down.
Understood.
That's strange.
We haven't figured out anything new since we first.
So these are all clips. What I'm doing is I'm creating these clips so that I have a folder full of clips that I can extract, you know, I can use in future things. So I'm going to be doing this with Gundam. I'm going to be doing this with everything I watch, basically. And this is like, I just chose to do it with Sidonia because it has such beautiful, I think it's just a beautiful visual copy, basically. And so, yeah, like this is like, these are just clips that I can then import into other timelines and, you know, put them in different sequences, mix them with other things.
I mean, we've never successfully communicated that it happened.
I heard the Ghana we beat back showed movement.
Captain Kobayashi is like really old, but she looks really young and hot because she got her age locked to look like she's in her 20s.
So it's looking to come back.
But she's like 800 years old, or like 400 years old. And for some reason, the captain wears this weird mask.
3 days.
It's been 7 days since the tragedy. The removal of the debris in the urban district has been completed, and life has been restored to normal.
Yeah, I think so too, Tim Bikini Tube. Tim Bikini Tube says, I think communism was actually created by elitists to destabilize the Russian Empire. It's a long story. Yeah, I mean, like, it was disgusting what the what was done to the white Russians. I think that's the term they refer to the royalty as. It was absolutely disgusting. I despise it because the Russians of that era, back when they were, even though they were monarchs, they were allies to America. There was some stuff they did during the Civil War in favor of the Union, whether, you know, you're in favor of what Lincoln did on the whole. I mean, generally speaking, I think we agree, you know, about many things in the Civil War, but there's like definitely finer legal points in there. But anyway, a lot of times it seems to me like even now politicians like tax the rich and all of these, like, you know, proclamations, and then you got AOC running around in a freaking $100,000 dress. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but like a dress that costs like thousands of dollars, and it says tax the rich, and it's like not really a big surprise that you would see this type of hypocrisy from the political class, but it's still kind of annoying because it's just like a rallying cry amongst many of the average plebes, the average, you know, persons. And it's like they don't want to see through it because of their political tribalism. Especially, I get it when a conservative approaches you with their angle and you disagree with like 9 out of 10 things they say. But it's like people that you don't agree with are allowed to make reasonable points. Pop says the Romanovs just didn't really care about the populace, so it was easy to stir up the people against them. Yeah, that's a valid, interesting. That's a good, I didn't know, I mean, that kind of makes sense, yeah. And I remember reading something, and what was happening was there was like a journalist, and he's going around in, you know, inside of, you know, the country or whatever, and he's noticing that the regular, like, middle class, they're all hanging out in the movie theater. Like, there's riots outside, shit is burning down, and the wealthy people or the upper middle class, they're just hanging out in the movie theater having, you know, watching a movie, trying to ignore it. He goes to the Russian palace, the royal palace or whatever they call it, and all of the women are wearing these little red ribbons or pink ribbons on their dresses, which is to stand in solidarity with the Bolsheviks, you know, the people who killed them the following morning. And I mean, you could argue they were just wearing those ribbons in order to, like, basically say, please don't kill me, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's sort of like, you know, pandering. Maybe they didn't truly care, but it's not a secret that royals don't always care about their subjects. And yes, it would be nice if the monarchs cared about their subjects, but we also know that the communist system is generally uncaring. Like, you could dupe some people, you might even get some people who work in the upper echelons, upper level civil servants who genuinely do care about the average person, or people who discharge their duties with the best of intentions. But on the whole, we know that system did not work, you know, consistently well. And then Timogini responds to Pop Culture Mechanic, the wealthy English and some interesting people from the Middle East who start with a, okay, I gotta be careful. But yeah, that's a factor though. I mean, and I think it's important. Like, I remember I was watching a guy and he would, you know, speak similarly, but I remember in the middle of his statement, he would remind people, like, if you think I want to send people into gas chambers, you got another thing coming. Basically, he was arguing that, like, you know, he would say something, but then he would do, like, he would qualify. He would go, hashtag not all. And I'm like, I could live with that. You know, it's like, I mean, and I think it's important sometimes to have that qualify, because even if, like, you don't mean to, like, paint an entire group with a single brush, what tends to happen is, you know, anybody who, you know, like, maybe, like, there's bad actors that you know, that they know you're calling them out. There's bad actors, they know you're calling them out, but they can home in on the thing that, you know, they can deem racist. And if you don't say the qualifiers, it can be taken out of context, or maybe it is in context in some cases. But, you know, obviously, like, I have, you know, plenty of friends from all walks of life, and I would never, you know, endorse, you know, singling out an entire, you know, race, ethnicity, or religion, unless that religion truly did represent, you know, harming people. And even, like, Muslims, like, I don't like the propaganda where they go, oh, it's a religion of peace, and then people talk out of two sides of their mouth. But yeah, I'm sure there are plenty of well-meaning Muslims who, you know, genuinely lean towards the peace as opposed to the annihilate all. And I remember a friend I used to joke around, and my friend's girlfriend, I'd be like, oh yeah, Osama bin Laden wants to kill us all. And it's like, it was a joke. I forgot why I was making a reference or something. And she turned around dead serious, like, oh yeah, I know, they really want to get us. Like, she was dead serious. Like, she was like, oh my God, yeah, they wanted out to get us, those Muslims. And I'm like, whoa, I was just joking here, girl. But she seemed to be like really like, you know, like really like scared. And it's like, I don't know, it's like that just feeds into the overall, you know, fear factor, terrorism, the media, and all of that. What up, Spock? If you look up Leon Trotsky, the creator of the Red Army, he was actually a blah blah who killed millions of his own people. Okay, see that? So a Jewish person who killed millions of his own people. So exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, so there were plenty of Jewish people who were victims of that man who happened to be a Jew. So I don't think it's necessarily a Jewish thing. You know, I don't think it's a uniquely Jewish thing that people do bad things. I mean, a lot of them happen to be Jewish, but there's plenty of Italians who do things, you know, that piss people off, you know. But I don't want to sound like I'm pandering, because maybe there is some valid points. Maybe there are some culturally rooted things, right? Like sort of like the notion that some people believe that they don't have to do real work, right? Like, oh no, you know, you got to be a person behind a desk. You can't touch a garbage pail. Heaven forbid I do work with my hands, you know? Some people have that elitist attitude, and sometimes that is attributed to some of the scriptures in a given religion, although at that point it's still, I don't know, I still feel comfortable caging my terms, I guess you could say. I dated a Jewish girl years ago. She was so beautiful. Yeah, I've seen some very beautiful Jewish women. Her name was Yahalonit. She said it meant diamond. Interesting. Baseball, basketball. Oh, you want more sternums. Oh, I see. Disney Sheepherd is like pushing for sternums right now. Our host on X. See, I call it Twitter X because it reminds me of SpaceX, you know? It's like the rocket company, Twitter X. What is that tablet thing? It looks like something out of Starship Troopers. Oh, which one? I mean, this one here? That's funny because it does work. Like, let's get that on camera. It is from Starship Troopers. Or you could draw on it in black and white. I don't think you can see what's on the screen. That's the only problem with my lighting setup at the moment. Hey Google, turn off the light. I don't know if that... Oh, the moon is beautiful time. We're going to take some pictures of the moon before I go eat dinner. Now the camera's doing some adaptive stuff to the refresh rate on the camera. And there is an art program in here, right? I can draw on here. This is a Cassiopeia E15. It is a Windows CE device known as, literally it says in the corner, palm-sized PC, like right here. And that's actually a standard. That represents devices running Windows CE. And this is Windows CE 2.11. Like when you click the start menu, it literally says Windows CE. This is from 1999. I currently have a 2 GB compact flash card. And although my boy William in the chat says that I can't use more, I'm hoping that like somehow there's some loophole that lets me use a high capacity memory card, even though he's almost certainly right that I can't put a bigger memory card, because I'm really having a hard time like getting video compressed for this. I mean, I'm actually getting progress in that field, so I'll show you. So I think this was oh yeah, so this is interesting. So sometimes when you play video in the media player, the audio won't work and you have to reboot the device. So we literally flip it over and we go like that. And then we reboot it. So we got to wait for it to reboot now. And it's going to say, you know, do you want to use extra power? There we go. And that's my friend Punk Waddle, who has a new Ice House video out today, by the way. You guys should all watch it, like, right after this stream. And they did make good watches. You're right, Timbagini Tube. And you guys should also subscribe to Sparks Friday nights. He sometimes does streams on Sundays, but he likes Fridays, and I don't blame him. So okay. So that's just like what we have here. I had an MPEG player. I don't think it's installed right now, but the MPEG player isn't really as important as the core Pocket Media Player. So the core Pocket Media Player is developed by the people who made the core Media Player, and that was like one of the first like multi audio track support, you know, apps that supported multiple audio tracks. And this is the Pocket version, which you can use for video or audio, music or movies. So I have a Sidonia episode that I've encoded as an MPEG, and that one the audio got messed up on. Then I have some Star Trek episodes here, and those mostly played fine. Like I have a 380 megabyte episode here. And I gotta hit play. See? It's got the Star Trek music. And people used to watch Star Trek on black and white TVs, right? So, see, look, it's totally Star Trek. So if there's like a blackout, a power outage, and I needed to watch Star Trek without wasting my phone battery, I could, you know, as long as I have AAA batteries and a means of charging them, I could just watch them on here. And previously, I couldn't get a good frame rate. I couldn't get it to play smoothly. Sometimes it would play smoothly, but it would skip every 30 seconds. And throughout my tests, I'm starting to see a lot of improvement. And it's all because of the core Pocket Media Player, which I already downloaded. But the installation file wasn't working, and I didn't know why. And it was because I was trying to open it from inside of a zip file, because the file manager I'm using on here actually supports zip files. And what's crazy is, see this thing? It's called Total Commander. It's a file manager. It's made by people. They still make one for Android, and yet they still keep this version on their website, the one for palm-sized PCs. And they really, nobody would be upset if they took it off their website, except me. But I am super duper grateful if they kept this available on their website, because there's really no other file manager that's as good as this on this particular platform. You could play it in full screen, so the camera actually shows you how it refreshes from top to bottom. It's like scanning constantly. See, like did I like wipe? That's like an effect of how the LCDs were of this type. They're not very fast. But, I mean, this is kind of okay. I'm okay with this, you know? So, I still want to use MPEG format. This is an AVI right here. And if I can't get bigger than a 2 gig memory card, my only solution is to have multiple 2 gig memory cards. I'm ordering a compact flash to SD card adapter so we can test it out. So, these SD cards are smaller. So, it would be easier to carry SD cards and one adapter than it would be to carry, you know, a bunch of compact flash cards. And let's show you what the compact flash card looks like. So we're going to exit the media player. Let me just put this down for a second while I turn on all of my lights again, please. All right, where's my flashlight? And what up, Godzillionaire? Google does like to make things dark. Okay, so now, how do we do that? Well, okay, we're going to turn off the device. I don't know if we have to turn it off, but it's nice to do sometimes. So this is a compact flash slot. This is where I would put Wi-Fi or Ethernet. But really, Wi-Fi, I think you could only put like wireless B in here, or maybe wireless G technology. So I'm not terribly interested in using ancient Wi-Fi. I'd rather have an Ethernet USB adapter hooked up to this. That would be way cooler. So I put this in my memory card reader in the front of my computer case. And I misplaced my USB card reader, but I fixed the slot on my internal reader, which I'd rather use, except this one's kind of janky. Like, it goes into a 3.5-inch bay. It has every memory card slot. It has compact flash, Memory stick Duo. Does it support Memory Stick Pro Duo? It might not. SD card, XC card, and multimedia card. Then it supports micro SD as well, and then it supports a different version of the XD picture card. Oh no, never mind. That's the dedicated slot. So that would be cool. Like, I want to get a new memory card reader for my desktop that does the same stuff, but they don't have compact flash in them anymore. And it's like, I need a compact flash slot for this. And anytime I come across a memory card, I want to be able to put... Uh-oh. It's not working this time. There we go. Work. Please work. Sorry, no, this is... So basically, I'm waiting for it to pop up in the bottom right corner or something. And like I said, this memory card reader is super janky. And sometimes the pins get bent because it was built like crap. Oh, I got it. There we go. Thank goodness. So, dedicated slot. I mean, it's a dedicated compact flash slot. And thank you. That's a pretty cool wallpaper, isn't it? It's from a really good book series of books I enjoyed. So, you know, you can see right here we have the files that are on this card right here. And I'm going to copy the newest encoding as soon as I find it. Where did I put it? Where's the app? Here it is. Okay, AVS video converter. And then I go into here and I copy this file that is 107 megs. So the good news is it means that I could take this file here that I know is bad and delete it and replace it. And you can see it's like only 10 megs a second, which might be fine for an older camera. Dedicated slot. That was my prison nickname. Wow. Oh, by the way, my gun blaster is looking pretty nice. Check that out right there. I'm not gun blast. This is an RGM 122 Javelin. I do have a beam shield here that goes right here. This is a beam shield emitter. Basically, I got a couple of the engines here. So I got these little these little funnels here, right? Like right here. And so I let the paint dry overnight. I might put a clear coat on it or do a little more touch up on here, like put some metallic paint on the inside of the funnel. But this piece would go on the leg. So see, you got like a thruster here. And you got a thruster here. There's like a couple of exhaust nozzles that go in a couple of spots. Because this is a Maxi. You got like some, you know, like little nozzles here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... plus the main propulsion in the back here. You know, so like this is like just highly maneuver. Oh, and you got to put a couple of the nozzles here on the shoulder too. So that's what these exhaust cones or rocket combustion cones are for, and what they'll be used for. But anywho, we got to switch to the moon soon. I know you guys want Sternum, but we got to point the telescope at the moon. So now the card is ready. So we're gonna go put it, take it out. I'm not gonna eject it properly because I am running out of time. I got the new Gundam in... Oh, that's great. That's cool to have in Banshee Gundam. I forget which one that is, but that might be from New Type Narrative. But I do like RX-93 New Gundam. Ah, damn it, I keep hitting the power button. The RX-93 New Gundam... You dumb motherfucking device. There we go. Yeah, but the RX-93 New Gundam, that one is pretty cool. See, okay, good. We got audio for Star Trek. Now we're going to open up a new file. Knights of Sidonia. And remember, this is an MPEG, so we're getting better compression, but the audio is probably going to be completely shot. Yeah, I'm not hearing any audio. The video frame looks really sketchy. In fact, it looks way sketchier than it did last time I played. Oh, there we go. That looks pretty good. Oh, yeah, that audio is not good. So the video looks great, but the problem is here. The audio looks good here. I mean, the video looks good. You know, like, I mean, I don't know if it'll look good in full screen. But like, you know, for the anime with the sternum that we saw a moment ago, there's some sternum. Oh, you want some sternum, you said, right? Well, because we don't need audio for the sternum, right? I mean, it'd take me forever to find the sternum clip here. It made that ugly noise again, like it made this, there it is, it's making these screeching sounds. So there is some issue going between the video codecs I'm using and converting it to MPEG 2. Because I believe this is an MPEG 1 video with MPEG 2 audio right here. So we know that's not a complete success, right? But you can see where we're making progress here, right? So, you know, I mean, it's pretty promising. I'm looking forward to, like, one day having, like, every episode of The Honeymooners and every episode of the, what do you call it? You know, that other one, I Love Lucille Ball. Because she's ballin'. No, okay. So, anyway... Where was I? Hey Google, lights on. So basically what we do is we took the original video, and in this video converter here, I tell it, you know, to do these things, you know, like I tell it, so video is fine, audio is not a good time, and I'm really not thinking MP3 is the way here. I just don't think MP3 is the answer. I could copy this path here and open it and see if the sound is messed up in Windows. If the sound is messed up in Windows... No, even worse. The device is having trouble decoding the audio. So see, look, it's playing fine here. It looks like hell, but it's playing.
Alright, all ammo emptied from Ho and Shinatose's guards. Tanikaze used the high-fi...
So that works. So, it's just my device isn't liking the audio for some reason. So, we could try an MP3 audio track. But if that doesn't work... and I guess I could do MP3 because I'm already lowering the bitrate aggressively. Like, maybe the... Yeah, I mean, I'm aggressively lowering the bitrate. I'm lowering the kilohertz. I'm lowering everything. Like, you know, like, I mean... I'm doing a lot of nasty things to the file as it is. Oh my god, Visual Basic icons on a conversion app. That takes me back to the 90s. I don't even know which Visual Basic icons you're talking about, but it wouldn't surprise me because this app is old. This app does things that like a modern encoder won't do, and it lets me do things that I would otherwise be forced to figure out how to do through FFmpeg the hard way, right? But it doesn't know how to use it's not very multi-core aware. So, whereas if I'm using Handbrake can either use all of my CPU cores or my GPU's encoding thread, or thread, however that works, but this program won't. So, hypothetically, if this could do more multi-core processing, I could actually, you know, get this done quicker. So now for the last task, okay, the menu icons, I see. What up, Whooper Trooper? Whooper Trooper had a bump in stream today. He was like playing Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that's how you pronounce it, Galaxy. I'm an astronomer. I should know. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Because of protocol error, the remote session will be disconnected. Okay. So once in a while I run into this weird issue, and one of the things I'll do is I'll remote into it like this. And then like, it'll usually work if I shuffle out because it's not absolutely necessary, but like, I like using RDP at times. In fact, I noticed a weird glitch with, so this is a Windows Remote Desktop, and one of the cool things about it is it uses my ultra-wide monitor, and it uses the local computer to do some of the rendering. By the way, this is a whack feature. There's a feature in Windows called Aero Shake, and what happens is if you shake a window, it minimizes the other windows. Like, who uses that? Who goes, I want to shake a window and minimize everything else? Like, what is that bullshit? And you used to be able to disable it. You used to be able to go into the start menu and type in arrow shake or arrow shake, and you can't anymore. So then I go here and I do like maybe disable Windows 10, right? And it's like people will be like, oh yeah, go to the settings and do it there. And it's like, no. Oh, maybe it is in there. Let's see here. Multitasking, snap windows. No, that's not. I didn't say I want to disable snapping. I said I want to disable shake to minimize. Oh wait, here's the real answer. You could do it in Windows 11, but in Windows 10, they say do this. I don't think that's how this works. Let's find out. Let's find out. So what did they say? What was the setting called again? Arrow shake. No, they call it snap windows. Okay, so where's snap windows? When I snap a window, automatically size it. When I snap a window, show what I can snap next to it. When I resize the snap window, simultaneously resize any adjacent windows. None of these say disable snap. Oh, I do that. Okay, we'll disable it all. Now, let's see what happens. Whoops, that's the wrong computer. So now, if I take this and I shake it, okay, that's good. But it's like, couldn't they just put a checkbox in there that disables the shaking thing? Maybe I want to do this. Maybe I actually want to do this. That's what the snap does. You bring a window to the left, and then it lets you pick another window to go side by side. It's like, you know, maybe I want to do that. But I don't want to be forced to, like, have that, where I shake a window and everything goes down. So, yeah, that's kind of whack. Now, I believe there's a registry hack for that. Oh, there's a group policy. Here we are. So we're going to do group policy, right? Edit, editor, GP, edit. We're going to go into administrative templates, desktop. Wait. Okay, administrative templates. There is no desktop. Wait, user configuration. Administrative templates, desktop, and we need to look for turn off arrow shake. Oh, here it is. It's right here. So I mean, it's nice that I can find this, but you know, it would be nice if, like, you know, like they just threw in a checkbox in the graphical interface. I'm really glad this is an option, but I shouldn't have to go and do that. But it better work now. You know why it doesn't work now? Because it probably requires me to restart my computer. So I'm just going to bookmark this tab, and hopefully I don't need it anytime soon. And then we got to check the astronomy kit. So this is an interesting thing I discovered yesterday. So I'm going to open up SharpCap, which is how I take pictures. Yeah, like, basically the idea of the feature, Whooper, I think is like when you're, what do you call it? Like on a tablet and you're using your fingers, like on a Surface tablet, and you could shake everything to minimize, shake one item to minimize everything else instead of having to hunt and peck for every button. But I agree, like this is like something that, like, clearly it came out with Windows, I think it came out with Windows 7 actually, but it's a tablet feature. It's not like a desktop feature necessarily. And so, yeah. Someone at Microsoft just needs to justify their paycheck is what that shake to close is all about. Probably. Oh, that's cool. I'm here while I wait to see if a girl accepts my date offer. Well, I don't know if I should wish good luck or bad. Because, like, you know, somebody's like, you say good luck, and then someone meets a girl and it seems great, but then, like, next thing you know, they're like, no video games, no having fun, no smoking cigars, no making your own beef jerky, no hanging out with your friends. And then they start making big demands. They're like, the family comes first. Like, geez, what do you mean the family comes first? What is that about? Jokes aside, you know what I mean. Like, I was watching 2001 An Anime Odyssey, and this girl drove a guy home from the convention, and that's how they got married. And I'm thinking that's kind of cool and cute, but what if, like, she went from being cool to not cool. He's thinking, oh wow, this girl likes anime like me. And the next thing you know, the girl stops watching anime and is being like, you know, mein Führer. She's all like, you got to do this, eh? Okay, that's my German accent. It's not very good. Let's see if we get this telescope thing to do things. I can't even see the corner. Uh-oh. Well, that's weird. Why is it doing that? Oh, is it going to have that glitch again where it does the infinite loop? I think we're going to have that problem here. Yep, we got the infinite loop problem. That's a problem that stopped happening for a while. Luckily, unlike the last astronomy computer, which I broke by leaving it in the rain, this one here can be restarted remotely without messing anything up. Because that's what used to happen. I used to have this problem where, like, I'd restart my astronomy computer and then I'd have to go outside and unplug and replug a USB cable in order for it to, like, you know, in order to be able to, like, use the motorized focuser, which is literally what it sounds like. It's the motorized focuser. It's like, I can't make a blurry star or a blurry object clear unless I have a way of turning the knob or using a motorized unit to turn the knob for me. So if restarting the computer causes that device to get dropped, then that's not terribly helpful, is it? So we're going to replace the movie that I put on the device right now. So we're copying it as we speak. Like champagne and a cupcake with golden frosting. Oh, that'd be a heck cool date offer. That's cool. A zoo, that's a good idea. Zoos are a good, like, you know, date / hangout, you know. Because, like, I tried the Netflix and chill thing, you know? I tried, like, my friend's like, oh, you gotta be nice, you can't just go, I'm like, what do you mean you can't just be... I thought people were supposed to be forward, so I said, yo, you want to come through and watch some Star Trek? In so many words. And didn't get a reply to that. But I'm not upset that I didn't get a reply, you know? It's like, instead, I got straight to the point, you know? And that's because some people act holier than thou, but then, you know, not everyone is, and some people are, some people aren't. You know, some people are more holier than others, but... It's like, yeah, I'm just going to cut through the bullshit on that one and not waste my effort. But I'm not, I mean, your mileage may vary. Disclaimers? I don't know. I don't know what kind of disclaimer to give you guys, but, you know, your mileage may vary. All right, let's see how this cartoon playback goes, all right? My phaser's not working all of a sudden. Uh-oh, I think the batteries are low. Okay, you know. Hey, Google, turn off the light. More magicians. Oh, cool, magicians. That's nice. As they know how to trick. They know a trick how to make all money disappear. All my money disappear. Ayo! That's funny. And you know, I'm very fond of Punk Waddle. People are like, oh, you're brown nosing the Punk Waddle. I'm like, no, he's my homie, number one. And number two, it's just a good picture. Like, it's a good contrast picture. I mean, it's got high contrast. You know, you got the black and the white. And that's important on a screen that you can barely see. You know, that you can actually differentiate the foreground. You know, the wallpaper I use behind me, you know, that one I have on here too. That one is like really not, you know, it's just kind of not clear. All right, let's see if the audio is better here. We're using MP3 now with MPEG video. Oh, I don't hear sound. I have sound. I hear the Japanese girl. I can barely hear her. It works. It's a little low.
Shina Tosei's guards. Tanikaze used the high vibration blade.
It's a little faint, but it's working. So we're going to do some tests now that we got this far. Let's get some astronomers for you guys. But so this is like, it doesn't have auto rotate. It does not have auto rotate. I wouldn't really plan on reading subtitles. So anime without subtitles or with subtitles that require subtitles can be a little like tricky. I'm not saying it's impossible. I may be able to encode the video in such a way that I can read the subtitles. I'd have to burn in the subtitles. You can't turn the subtitles off when you burn them in. They become part of the video frame itself, and that's totally normal. But they're speaking English, and they're in like they got like a giant ocean inside the ship. So in Sidonia, at the top, like 1/3 of Sidonia, there's the sea. So they literally have a ocean inside of a enclosed space that has all kinds of sea creatures living in there, and they do that so that I guess they can harvest food or maintain biodiversity. Because remember, it's a seed ship. The ship is supposed to be able to pick a planet and seed civilization on a new Earth. Yeah, the action shots definitely, get lost in the, image quality. Although this vertical line pattern you're seeing, you're not going to see that with the human eye. You only see that on a camera where you have a refresh rate that is out of sync, or perhaps it is in sync. I don't know what the term is, but yeah. Hey Google, light. Hey Google, turn on the light. Hey Google, turn on the light. So I hope that clears things up real quick. I must check that astronomy computer now. NSYNC. I used to think NSYNC was NSYNC. I thought it was like an abbreviation for like something New York or something. I didn't know it was NSYNC. I really thought it was just like NSYNC. So I remember I was like in middle school, I was like, oh my god, NSYNC is so cool. Like I was making a joke about this girl's shirt, and she's looking at me like I'm dumb, and it's because that was the joke. I'm the one who didn't realize NSYNC is not NSYNC. Did it connect to the camera yet? No, it did not. We're waiting for it to connect to the camera. This is a little worrisome here. This is being a little... Oh, it's connecting to the mount? It's connect... Oh, I see what it's doing. There we go. I had to open up the this app here. So one of the weird things is that when I was using remote desktop connection, this 3D model of my telescope was getting all jerky. But in parsec, it does get jerky. But then the video encoding for remote desktop is better when you got a lot of graininess on the screen. All right, pray for me that this works. Oh, god darn it. I might have to go outside. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Oops, I made a mistake. That was my bad. I think I made a mistake. Oh, yeah. Okay, I did something stupid. Right here, this pull down menu. So the idea is that if, let's say you're recording pictures or video at like a really high frame rate, but you really only want to take a new picture once every 2 minutes, like for a meteor shower or something. That's what you would do here. So I had it set on a interval that was not ideal. Okay, so that was a human error. Now that we got that sorted out, now we should be able to see stuff, right? And this is the grainy pattern I was telling you about. So the video compression, sometimes if the network connection is if there's a video compression is excessive or something, this will look a little weird on screen. So I was just adjusting my monitor. My monitor is like tilted down, and I'm just like a little weird. Ever must touch grass, yes. Well, that movie Glass was interesting, wasn't it? Okay, so now, is it cloudy out? Hey Google, what's the weather? let's point it at the moon. So one thing I did wrong was, this is Stellarium. Stellarium is like a remote, it's a telescope control. Well, it's not. It's a planetarium, actually. It's not a telescope control utility. And I used to use a plugin that would go into Stellarium in order to make it aim at my telescope. But now that they updated Stellarium and now that I'm using Green Swamp software, apparently that plugin is not needed. But I haven't removed the plugin yet. So once in a while, Stellarium will just close automatically. And I think it's because of that. So at some point, I have to reinstall Stellarium. I think to permanently fix that. But then people in the internet, they were saying, oh, what do you mean? Why are you using a planetarium program as a image acquisition tool? Like, because it freaking works. Like, you know, I click on the thing, it aims my telescope. Like right here, it's going to move the little reticle. There we go. See, it's aiming the telescope. That's like primary functionality right there, you know? It's like, sure, maybe there's a program that has all of the tools built in. But my thing is, I want to get everything working separately. Partly, uh-oh. So, did you hear that sound just now? I don't know if you heard that sound, but something got disconnected just now, and it was my camera. Oh boy. All right, emergency stop. I'm not even kidding. That's an emergency stop right there because I need to see if the camera really got disconnected. Yeah, my camera got disconnected. Something disconnected my camera. All right, guys, stream's over. I got to go outside. I could, you know, bring my phone outside and join the stream. But at this point, I'm going to eat dinner very soon. I have this much energy drink left. I should definitely, like, throw out the rest because I got work at 5 a.m. tomorrow. It's like 9 p.m. already. Okay, one more sip. I should have gotten up at 11 a.m. when Pop Culture Mechanic was streaming. You know, and then I would have been nice and tired, and then I could go to bed early tonight. But that's all right. I'll be tired by Monday night so that I can get a good night's sleep for Tuesday. And then after Tuesday, I'm off again, you know. Tuesday is my Friday. So guess what's on Tuesday? Hopefully Snowdub. Hopefully he gets his friggin' laptop back. This guy, Pop Culture Mechanic. But of course, YouTube is showing the top chat, so you don't see his channel until I click on live chat. And then it's still not working. Motherfucking Stream Elements bot. I'm gonna beat the shit out of that robot. Like, I started the stream correctly, so whatever. I still don't have confidence in the Stream Elements bot for this reason. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But even when it works, it only works when I click on this here. But yeah, his YouTube name is @PopCultureMechanic. He will be streaming again on tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, I think like 10, 11 a.m. And then Tuesday, he has Trades Talk. And I love tuning into Trades Talk because I have work. You know, I'm off work after. That's my Friday. So it's sort of like my celebratory stream. I watch Trades Talk on Fridays. You know, it's wonderful. And so why did my telescope lose connectivity just now? Probably the cable got snagged on something, or something was already loose, or the extreme cold got to a cable and it shorted itself out. Whatever the case is, or maybe I just got to disconnect it and reconnect it. But either way, I have to go outside and disconnect and reconnect it at the bare minimum. Possibly checking the cable, seeing if anything snags anything. But anyway, I want to say goodnight to Pop Culture Mechanic. Him too. But I meant to say David Glenn, because David Glenn said have a good night. So back at you. Thanks for dropping in, Timbagini Tube, Whooper Trooper, Disney Sheep Herder Man. Thanks for dropping by. And if I'm missing anything here, it was me. I am prowling around committing small acts of tomfoolery. I thought you were going to be committing acts of shoop-foolery or whoop-foolery. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Gangnam Style. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, I'm sorry. It's so corny. Let's do one thing before I leave here. So, this is actually good. This is 240 pixels wide, which is how wide the screen on my pocket computer is. Can we do anything? Increase the bit rate? Increase the audio? Maybe we can amplify the audio a little bit. I'm kind of reluctant to increase the audio in case it ruins the, performance. I think the bit rate is fine. look at how big. We go from a 200 megs to a 500 megabyte file. So if anything, we're going to pick a lower bit rate. All right, in all seriousness, I must depart. You keep on prowling there, Mr. Whooper Trooper. And did I think Disney Sheepherder? Yeah, Disney Sheepherder. Always a pleasure. We will have you on soon. It's like I know it's a non-defined number, but we'll be in touch. Also, let me know if you have any interest. Hit me up on Twitter or something, or I'll hit you up somewhere. If there's any topics that you prefer to discuss, or if you just want a free-for-all, you know. But I'm open-minded here. If you got anything that, you know, interests you, I can, you know, make preparations. I can have screenshots or videos or something. Anyway, and yeah, and Spock's Fridays nights. Yes, I also want to thank Spock for dropping in. So anyway, with that all being said, we really will be concluding this stream. So for anybody who's watching on the replay, if you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please leave a comment. Please like and subscribe. That works for me, Disney. Thanks. Real anime sternum. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please leave a comment. Please like and subscribe.